Hello everybody and welcome to my very first YouTube video. Can you believe I I feel like it's like way past due for me creating a YouTube channel. I've been creating TikTok videos for maybe a year now, and you guys have been asking me for years, when are you creating a YouTube channel? When are you creating a YouTube channel? So here it is, my first ever YouTube video. So today's video is just gonna be like a little introduction, like who I am. So I had you asking me guys some questions on Instagram, and before I get into those, I'm just gonna share a little bit about who I am. So I grew up in a very, very small town in the thumb of Michigan. It's called Marlette. You probably have never heard of it unless you're from the area. And then I went to university in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where I studied to be a missionary. I studied Bible and theology and also intercultural ministries, which was awesome. I went to Bethany Global University, and I cannot say enough good things about them. Literally the best university ever. I grew and healed so much there. But so my university shut down because of COVID, so I moved to Dallas, Texas, which is where I'm currently living, and I am engaged to my fiance Elliot Van Dyke, so soon to be Nadia Van Dyke. But he's a rapper, so we met literally at his concert. I was just here visiting 1 month from while I was still living in Minnesota. I just came here to visit, and I met him, and the rest is history. I can definitely share the story of how we met too, because it's just a really cool story, but it's kind of long. But I'm 24 years old, and obviously you guys know that I absolutely love social media. It's what I do for both of my jobs. So my personal social media is my full-time job, and then I also have another part-time job at a church as their social media strategist. So all things social media I just love. I also, you guys know, I love fashion, I love skincare, I love hair care. I love it all. And something that I'm very, very, very passionate about is vulnerability. I have a ministry called From Ruin to Redemption. I have it tattooed on my arm. I'm very passionate about vulnerability because you can't heal what you hide. And vulnerability is seen as such a weakness. There's just this stigma around it that feeling emotions is weak, or talking about hard things that you're going through is weak, crying is weak. And it's actually the opposite. It's actually a strength. So, like I said, you can't heal what you hide. So it's only when you bring it to the surface, and it's only when you talk about it, that you can heal. And not only heal, but you can also empower other people who are walking through the same thing or something similar to also heal. So on my channel, I'm going to talk about all hard things, all things that nobody else likes to talk about, things that might be a little bit uncomfortable. So like sexual sin or mental health as a Christian, or literally just whatever it is, I'm here for it. I'm here to talk about it, and I'm here to empower other people to talk about it. Okay, so enough of that. I'm gonna start answering some of the questions that you guys had for me. Okay, your relationship with God and where it started. Were you raised a Christian? So kind of yes and no. It's a really complicated answer, because I was basically born and raised in the church. Both my parents would take me to church, and it really just boils down to my testimony, which I'll do a separate testimony and get more in depth with it. But so it really boils down to the fact that well, my parents were divorced when I was little. So my dad would take me to church, my mom would take me to church, but so my dad was very abusive to me and to my brother growing up. So as a child, and as like a preteen teenager in her developing years, it was a very difficult thing for me to navigate, because my dad would take us to church Sunday mornings, and then he would be angry and abusive Sunday afternoon. So it really distorted my view of God, and it distorted my view as church as a whole. So basically what happened was, when I was old enough to kind of make my own decisions, when I was like 13, 14, I decided I just decided to live for the world. Like, I did it all, guys. I did it all. Like, I went and slept around. I was stealing things from stores, like getting into trouble. I was doing drugs. Like, I was in homosexual relationships, like literally all of it. I was just a mess, and I was just really looking for something to fill that void, because I was genuinely just so broken and on the search for something to fix that brokenness, to heal me. So I spent about 4 years doing that, and I was just a prodigal. And I do believe that I got saved when I was young. I believe that I had the Holy Spirit in me this entire time. But I got radically saved when I was 17 years old, actually through the death of my brother. It's kind of a long story, and I'll definitely share that another time. But when I was 17 years old is when I truly started living my life for the Lord, and I'm 24 now, so it's been since I was 17 that I've just been living a life surrendered for Jesus. What are all your tattoos, and do they mean anything to you? So yes. I only have like one tattoo that doesn't mean like a whole lot to me, and I got that before I was saved. But every single one of my tattoos is spirit-led. Something that the Holy Spirit, like a vision, like this is a vision that the Lord gave me. This is from ruin to redemption. What the Lord spoke over literally my ministry, my life. I'm gonna do a tattoo tour for you guys because each and every one of my tattoos has a very long story behind it, because they're all very, very intentional. And so yes, short answer, yes. They all mean something to me, and they all mean something very different. So I'm gonna do a tattoo tour for you guys. How do you know you have a gift to grow His kingdom? Well, we all do. Literally all of us. Our gifts might be different, but we all have a gift to grow His kingdom, whether that might be what I'm doing on social media, maybe what you're doing like with your secular co-workers, or if you're a missionary. It doesn't matter. Our mission field is literally where our feet are planted. So every single one of us has that gift. It just depends on what it is. How many kids do you want to have? Okay. So I never wanted kids until maybe recently. I don't know. This is just really in the Lord's hands, because I don't know. I think the reason that I don't want kids is not necessarily a valid reason. I'm just a little bit scared that I'm going to be a terrible mom, because my family does have this generational curse of abuse. So my dad was abusive to me, his dad was abusive to him, and I'm sure I don't know, it's just like a long generational curse of abuse and narcissism. So I'm just very scared that I'm gonna treat my kids the same way that my dad treated me, and it's just really centered around a lot of fear. So if we did have kids, honestly, I don't know. I know that I would love to adopt. I believe that every Christian family should adopt. That's something I'm very, very passionate about. So it's not like a set number of we're gonna have this many and stop after it. It's just honestly whatever the Lord calls us to. What did depression look like for you when you had it as a Christian? So for those who don't know, I was diagnosed with depression when I think I was 13 or 14 years old, and the Lord very miraculously and very radically healed me of depression last year, which is definitely a story I'm going to make a separate video about, because it's just absolutely insane. It's just insane. But it was tough. It was tough because so many people told me if I just had a little bit more faith, then He would heal me, when that's not the heart of God. That it hurt me so much, especially when I believed it. And it's not biblical. It's not the heart of God. And it was really hard, because a lot of Christians that I was around at the time didn't suffer from depression, and they just lacked that understanding and that empathy that I needed from a friend. So I just felt very, very alone. And it was just rough. And as much as it was rough, it was also just a very beautiful time with me and the Lord, because I got to learn so many new things about who he is and about his characteristics, and just his love for me. And it was kind of a time where I kind of had to process, like, alone with the Lord. I wasn't able to process. I did have a therapist, but besides her, I wasn't able to process with safe people, with friends, with people that really understood. And even it was difficult because even my therapist just didn't necessarily have that level, like that depth of understanding, because it wasn't necessarily something that she faced. So it was very lonely. There were times where I literally would not leave my bed for weeks at a time, and I would go days without eating, days without showering, and I struggled with self-harm too, the past couple years that I was suffering with depression, which is something that I went 5 years without self-harming. It was something that I started when I was like 13, 14, and had an addiction to for about 3 or 4 years. So it was really devastating for me to start that again. But it was just kind of, I was just in a very, very broken place where I felt very misunderstood. But yes, be on the lookout for a video where I talk about how the Lord healed me, and I think why he healed me. I'm going to talk about that more in depth. What's your favorite place to shop for clothing? I actually love Amazon. Amazon has a lot of hidden gems, and I have an Amazon storefront where I put together all of my favorite pieces, and I can link it for you guys. But Amazon has really cute things. And then I love shopping at Uptown Cheapskate or Plato's Closet. I love shopping secondhand, and Uptown Cheapskate just has so many cute things, because they really only accept things that are trendy and that are nice and clean. So I'm not honestly big on thrifting. I struggle. I struggle with thrifting because I don't have the patience for it, and it's very rare that I find something, and if I do, it's usually not worth my time. But other stores I love shopping at are I just love Target as a whole. I love Target, and I love just small little boutiques. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Boutique, I don't know. I love those because I love shopping small. And then sometimes I'll get my jeans from Target. I have a hard time finding other things there that I really like, but yeah, it's kind of just like whatever I'm feeling like. If I go to a mall, my first choice is always Forever 21 or H&M. I'm always there. So yeah, number one favorite place is actually probably Forever 21. I get most of my clothes from there. So good question. What do you like to do for a self-care day? So you guys already know, if you follow me on social media, you already know how I feel about like self-care, because I do believe that the truest form of self-care is soul care, which is time with Jesus. So whenever I feel like I need self-care days, I'll go to the prayer room at my church, or I'll just be in my word and just spend time with Jesus, but also practically and not just spiritually. I love doing hair masks. I love doing face masks. I love just watching a lighthearted movie, or just honestly just spending time with my fiance. Is just honestly how I feel cared for the most. What's something you're excited for besides getting married? So I'm just very excited for this year. So the word that the Lord gave me for this year is intimacy. So I'm just really, really excited to just go into new depths and new heights of intimacy with the Lord this year. And just I don't know, because last year it was a very off year for me spiritually, because I was just navigating a lot. I was navigating still the death of my dad, a new relationship, a new city, lack of community, and it just was a really hard year for me spiritually. But this year I'm really just excited just to see what the Lord has in store, really just for us, like for me and the Lord, just our personal relationship, instead of just my ministry, or instead of my relationship, just me and the Lord. I'm just really excited for that. Favorite Bible verse and why? Oh, my favorite Bible verse since my dad passed away has been Revelation 21:4, where it talks about how God will wipe away our tears and there will be no more death or crying or sorrow or pain, for the old things have passed away. It's just it goes really into my Between Two Gardens tattoo that I have on the back of my neck, which I'll talk about in my tattoo tour. But it was a very comforting verse for me, honestly. Just all of Revelation 21 and 22 when processing the death of my dad, just because it's just a reminder that this earth, this life, pain is temporary, but one day Jesus is returning and he's going to make all things right again. Favorite genre of music. So my favorite genre, obviously besides worship, is chill pop. You guys already know that I love Justin Bieber. I've loved him literally since I came out of the womb. Not really, but I've loved him for a very, very long time. Like since his YouTube days, like very, very long time. So love Justin Bieber. I love Tate McRae. I love Keshi. I love Southern Wade. I love these like smaller artists that they're chill pop and just have like I don't know, great lyrics, great beat. I don't know. I just absolutely love it. Why did you move to Dallas and why do you hate it? Very, very good question. So I moved to Dallas because I didn't have anywhere else to move really. I kind of did, but I don't know, kind of long story short, when my university shut down because of COVID, there's literally a guy staring at me. Okay, so when my university shut down because of COVID, my dad also passed away a couple months before that, so I didn't have my childhood home anymore because when he passed away, the bank took his house. There he's leaving. That was the guy that was staring at me. But the bank took his house, so and my mom lives in just like a tiny like 1-bedroom apartment in North Carolina, and I just lived with her for a few months beforehand, and as much as it was like good, it was a little bit difficult because I was just like sleeping on the living room, and we're both HSPs, which is highly sensitive person, so it's just it was a little bit difficult to navigate. So I just found a couple friends that I knew that lived in Dallas, and they were looking for a third roommate, like literally the time that I wanted to move here. So they asked me to live with them, and I said yeah. So I moved here March 2020, and I hate it because I think I'm just not in the right area of Dallas. I'm in Dallas, and I'm not in a safe area, and it's not nice where I am. So I think honestly, oh, also the traffic is absolutely nuts. People are just insane here. Southern hospitality is just not a thing in Dallas whatsoever, especially among drivers. Like, they're just ruthless, they're mean, they don't let you in, they like blow their horns at you, and it's just I don't know. I just hate driving in Dallas. So I think what we're gonna do is after my lease ends, and Elliot like moves in, and my lease ends in May, so I think hopefully we'll be married by then, but we'll move to maybe like a suburb because I've heard that suburbs are really nice. So I'm gonna give it a second chance and try out a suburb. And I don't know, I said I hate Dallas, but I kind of do hate Dallas. I need to try out a suburb before moving to a different state. Okay, so that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much to everybody that asked the question and who's already subscribed. I'm just so excited for this new year and just what the Lord has in store for this channel and for my ministry. And I'm just so excited to share bits and pieces of my life with you guys, and just really invite you guys to follow along in this journey. So thank you guys so much for being here, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos.